Hello everybody, my name is Rudix. Welcome aboard today. I will be playing a game called Never Alone. It's the story of a young girl and her journey through the snow. Never Alone is a game that was really more so designed to be played cooperatively. However, I don't have any friends, so I decided I would learn to play this using both of my hands to control the two characters. Since this game does require quite a bit of my attention, my commentary will be a little lacking in sections, so I go ahead and apologize now while I still have the chance. As you can see in the background there, the little girl will be joined by a fox here in a moment. As we traverse through this snowstorm here, we are being chased by a polar bear. However, lucky for us, a fox shows up just in time. So Never Alone was released a few years ago, and I'd been looking for a cooperative game to play so that I could actually learn to do what I'm doing here today. And coincidentally, this game had come out right around the same time I had decided to embark on such a journey. And playing through this, I discovered it was not overly difficult. So this is, for anyone interested in learning to do something like this, this game is definitely a good starting point. I have to be really careful about how far ahead I get with the fox here. The fox does travel a little bit faster than the girl. And I don't want to get too far ahead because it'll trigger some of these like wind sequences basically in some very inconvenient areas. So for this first section, I'll be fairly careful about what I'm doing. I discovered a few years ago that I am very ambidextrous, and I had been thinking about for a while the possibility of playing two separate games at the same time using each one of my hands. But in order to do such a thing, I knew it was going to take a bit of training. Thankfully, this game came along, helped me out. I still hope to one day achieve that goal, but it might be some time before I reach that place. As you'll probably see as I play through this, I've still got a long way to go. I'm gonna wait, playing it safe. Generally, you can actually grab onto that ledge there and like just barely make it in time. We're gonna play it a bit safe today. So playing through this casually, even just with one hand or with a friend, this game was set up to be designed in a way to kind of allow anyone to play. So even if you're like Grandpa who'd never played a video game before in his life, wanted to get into something, it's not very punishing when your character falls, and the mechanics of it aren't too hard. These first few stages are incredibly easy and very good for teaching someone that would like to get into video games. It was also meant as a way to like kind of teach people about the tribe that this is based about. I guess it's a tribe. An Inuit tribe. I'm very uncultured. Thankfully, this game has a lot of little insights that you can watch. It'll teach you all about their culture. I haven't watched them in quite some time, but there are some really interesting ones in there that I'll mention as we go through. Some of the more notable ones that left an impact on my memory. Once again, I gotta be a little bit careful about getting too far ahead with the fox. And since, once again, since this requires a bit more of my attention than I would like, there's going to be a lot of silent moments. But I hope you all enjoy this anyways. I've actually been doing this for a couple of years now. Well, I say a couple of years, it's more like months. A couple of months now, just like on and off. Just every now and then when I feel like it. And, oops. It's been quite a fun adventure, just kind of like playing through, learning about this game. Since many of you know me as like a speedrunner, I was trying to learn to speedrun this game this way. The only problem with it was that doing too many attempts in a row actually started to hurt my left hand, which actually is another thing I should probably get into. When I decided I wanted to learn, essentially to like speedrun a game in this way, one of the things to... I'm going to be really safe here. You can actually fall all the way down, which will end our journey. One of the things I had to like figure out when I first decided to do this was which hand was going to control which character. Now, I'm naturally left-handed, so I felt like the character that was going to be doing most of the like more involved actions would be the one that should probably be my left hand. And since some of the later levels of the fox can get pretty complicated, I kind of decided to set it up my left hand controlling the fox. So that's how that decision kind of came to be. It was something I had to spend like several days like really kind of messing around with and thinking about before diving too far into it. Because that does make such a great impact on the journey itself and learning something to this extent. Being able to like separate... Oh my god. Sometimes this game does some weird graphical things. Being able to like separate this game mentally, like left and right-handed, was something that wasn't too much trouble for me, but it was something I had to like really think about. Which hand do I want to control which character? Alright, so now we got this guy his drum back. He's really excited. You guys ever get something, like you've lost something, and you find it again, you're really excited about it? Let me know about it in the comment section. I love finding things that have been missing for a long time. Especially if it's like years since you last found it. You're like, oh my god, I just found a CD from my high school days. Time to listen to this pile of garbage. That's generally what happens to me. Whoops. A little bit too far with the box there. So far, we haven't really had to do too much with both the girl and the fox at the same time. We're starting, as the game kind of goes on, it does a pretty good job at, like, teaching you through actions rather than... Oh my god. Rather than having, like, these involved tutorials on how to do everything. Which is something I definitely really liked. Because once again, like I said, this game is kind of designed to allow everyone to really learn how to play video games in general. There was another game I had considered, but I felt like it was going to be a little bit more than I wanted. There's a game called Ibn Oob, I believe. It's a 2-player cooperative game that does... It's not overly complicated. There's really just like a jump button and like move and jump. Oh my gosh. That's all I really needed was move and jump. Which is how this game kind of starts off as. And like I said, it was something I wanted to like learn with. It was a good way to begin. Yeah. Decided to try something I didn't think it was going to work, but I wanted to try it anyways. I like to try things in the middle of live recordings. The best time to try anything is when you're being watched. Alright. I have to be really careful. Some of these chase sections, the camera can get really messed up. Whoa! So I have to be careful about when I start moving and how far ahead I get. In this case, I'm okay, but some of the later ones, it can get really bad if you go too fast through them. The camera will go really crazy and just kind of like off into the distance somewhere. Or if I get too far ahead with the fox, the girl, the angry guy in the back there will start going faster and catch up to the girl. And since the girl is so much slower than the fox, I gotta be really careful. Okie dokie. So now we're coming up on probably my favorite stage in this game. This is where the two characters start to really separate from each other. Since you don't have to pay too much attention about getting ahead with the fox as much in a lot of this, it's much easier to just go as far forward as you can with the fox. And not worry about the fact that you're ahead. So the two characters start to really separate here and what's going on for the two of them. I will slow down a little bit every now and then because if I do get too far ahead, some of the rocks will break or start to travel off in a direction that I don't really want. Because it'll put the girl out of reach of being able to jump onto them. And then we actually can't advance this part until the polar bear catches up. like to take a moment to thank everyone today for watching this video. Hope you enjoy Never Alone. It's a very fun game, just like in general. Like I said, it's not too complicated, and it's not very punishing at all with deaths. One of the characters falls in the water or off a cliff or something like that. It generally only sets you back like a tiny amount. Essentially, as you solve puzzles, it auto-saves. Fun to play around with Fox, though. Since this Fox is so much faster than the girl, there are certain sections like this where not really much else to do with Fox. And just kind of hang out. I'm going to play a lot of this section really safer than I normally would. Just because it doesn't really matter. Like, I would normally actually go over the rock and have the Fox on the other side already. But that doesn't really speed anything up. We're just going to take a moment to wait. Make sure everything works out as intended. Oh, I may... Oh, no, we're fine. If I jump too high there, like if I jump too early, it gives me a boost, and I'll actually land and fall, and she'll take a moment to, like, fix herself. I could have actually just run straight through there, but I'm going to take a moment just to play it safe for you guys. Like I said, messing up in this game is not very punishing, but I don't want to waste too much of your time. Alright. We're coming up here on our first, like, I'm going to call it a boss fight. It's not really a boss fight. You have to outsmart this polar bear here. Last time I practiced this, I missed it a few times. So I gotta be really careful with how I do this. Oh gosh. Ugh. Like I said, I'm gonna play it a little bit safe for you guys as best I can. Ooh. Not actually speedrunning this right now, so no hurry, no rush. Sometimes in life, you gotta go fast. Sometimes it's not all that important. It's good to just take your time, get through challenges that you might face every day. So this is actually my least favorite stage. So we have my favorite stage followed up by my least favorite stage. This stage is actually fairly kind of glitchy, and that sometimes they'll get hung up on various things, especially when you're in the water. Oops. And it will... I've actually gone out of bounds on accident, unintentionally, quite a number of times in this stage with the Fox. I just gotta be really careful. In addition to being horribly glitchy, this stage also features a lot of like water areas, which aren't so bad if it's just one character doing the water section, but sometimes... Oops, actually this is horribly wrong. That's fine. But sometimes they get really off sync and we're stuck on things, especially the Fox. The Fox has this weird way of like turning around, and compared to the girl, at least. And so sometimes in the water, the two of them can have a few minor issues. Are you kidding me? That's okay. This is probably one of the first stages where I have to, like, really concentrate a lot more than I normally do. Just because, since you're moving both characters so much, it's enjoyable in that sense, but, it's hard to concentrate on both and speak at the same time. Alright. So the camera gets really wonky here. Sometimes. I may have to... restart and check. Yeah. Sometimes the camera gets really weird. For some reason there. And it won't actually let me get down here. Oops. There's a few places in here where the camera will just like start going out in its like own adventure somewhere. Which is great, because you should always seek adventure where you can. But it's very inconvenient for me. Alright, so we're just going to leave our little fox friend here for a bit. Come back to him in a second. So I try my best to keep the two of them synced, just because it helps me mentally. But sometimes... And you need both characters anyways, so... In order to progress... Oh my god. Try to keep them as synced together as I possibly can. In the water sections, it can get, like I said, it can get rather annoying because for some reason the physics there are really weird. And as I mentioned earlier, I've actually unintentionally fallen out of bounds with the fox a few times. Why do I keep doing that? Oh, whoop. Probably help if I actually keep my hand centered on the controller correctly. I don't want to get too high up with the fox, because then the little spirit there will actually disappear. Alrighty. Now that stage is over. We're on to our next area. The insights for this area were actually really interesting to me. Because the tale of the aurora, I guess, for these people was kind of spooky. It was like really scary, actually. And it's weird that they're just like, yeah, auroras are cool. What it is, whoops. What it is that they believe the ghosts of like lost children, essentially, are the auroras, and they just want to play with the kids. So if they know you're a kid, they're gonna try and grab your head and play with it. Which is really creepy. So they say you're supposed to leave your hood up so they don't recognize that you're a child. However, the little girl that we're controlling here has not done so. And as such, the auroras will actually come after her. So as you're going through this next section here, you're going to be chased by these frightening children. They're really spooky looking. Might not. Okay, we're fine. I'm gonna play a little bit of this safe as best I can. I'm gonna be kind of careful about where I have Fox as well as the girl. Oh god. There we go. Yeah, so these creepy looking things chasing us around are supposed to be the auroras, the like northern lights you would see in places such as like Alaska. This is really risky. I probably shouldn't have done it. Ugh. Yeah. So they'll try to grab you and chase you around. You get grabbed by the ghoulies a few times here, I'm sure. I'll try to play a little bit safer. Gotta be careful where I have the fox there. If he's too close to the edge, he'll actually get grabbed. Oh no. One of the unfortunate things that happens that just kind of became muscle memory at some point in this game is that most of the time you'll end up like basically leading off with the fox, so you'll be ahead, and you'll almost always end up having to jump before the girl gets to jump. And there are places where my mentality is to jump with the fox first. So I'll hit the button with my left hand and then my right hand when I need to press them both at the same time. Throws me off every now and then. Alright, so the wind picks up here. And in this next section, after I solve this little puzzle here, we are going to have to be dealing with more and more wind as we go through, which is not a big deal. Since I know where all... Oh, no. Since I know where all of the wind sections are. Our poor friend the fox got grabbed. This specific spot, there's one other spot that's very similar to this with the fox. It's kind of actually very difficult to do because since the box is so close to the edge, it's hard to land on the edge. Alright, so I want to push this box off, but I also want to land on the box. There we go. So that I don't have to sit through her falling and getting back up. The landing on the box prevents any sort of like weird travesty there. I didn't gain enough height with the girl. Alright. You make a mistake, you get back up. It's not a big deal. Life's full of mistakes. You just gotta learn to get back up from them. Take it one step at a time. Oh no. Might be bad. Yeah, there's two guys right here. Ooh, almost jumped a little too high there. Alright, so here's where the wind really starts to pick back up. And, gotta be super careful. As you can see here, I'm being pushed back, so I have to wait for the wind to calm down before I can progress forward. It kind of does that really right as you would be jumping naturally on every single one of these platforms. So it's kind of tricks you into thinking, oh, it's safe for me to jump. So if you're traveling at like your normal speed, it's going to get you every time. A little bit too far forward? Nope. Alright. So I don't want to get too far ahead with the fox here, but I also don't want to get too far behind. There's a trigger that happens on this bridge here. And so I have to make sure I'm at least on the one that the girl's standing on now. So now, for anyone that's never played this, and even for those of you who have, the saddest moment of the game ensues here. The creepy angry guy catches up to us. And I don't want to sit here and cry for an hour. I also don't have a third hand to wipe away my tears, so I try to skip that cutscene as fast as I possibly can. The angry guy kills the fox in that scene, and now the fox is a spirit in the form of a little boy. So now all of the fox sections, just going back to earlier about talking about how choosing which hand I wanted to do different things with. The fox sections are now all basically like underwater type thing. Like I'm basically swimming in the air. We're flying, but the mechanics of it are like I'm swimming. As much as everyone loves water stages, or swimming in general, flying is sometimes just as frustrating. So the fox can kind of manipulate some of these spirits in the forest here. So in the form of like these branches and trees and stuff. So the puzzles for all this are basically, you're just trying to figure out how to manipulate all the branches and everything. Which can be very detrimental to my pinky here. The game wants you to kind of do this a certain way, but it's actually more difficult if you do it the intended way. I'm going to do that a little bit different than the game probably wants me to. Also, one of the weird things about the camera here is it'll sometimes move ahead of the fox, and it'll cause all kinds of weird, unfortunate accidents, I should say. Oh my gosh. especially in one of the next two stages. There's an area where very commonly have issues with the camera taking hold of the fox and not being able to progress. Thankfully, you can just return to checkpoints, so it's not like a huge deal, but it can get a little annoying. First playthrough of this game. Alright, waiting for the wind. Alright. We finished that stage. We continue forward. So a lot of this stage is actually basically an auto-scroller. You can actually force the auto-scroller to skip ahead a little bit in a few spots by jumping into the water, and it'll reset the position of the tree. I'll be taking advantage of that as best I can. Where I can. Alright. Gotta be fast here. Once again, I hope everybody's enjoyed Never Alone. Very calming game. Like I said, it's very interesting look at a tale of an adventure of a little girl and this fox here. It's worth checking out at least for all the behind the scenes, like cutscenes and stuff. They're very informative. I definitely learned a lot, but it's been quite a while since I watched many of them. Perhaps it's time I go watch them all again. Not today, though. Alright. Alright. Hopefully this shoots me down. Okay, yeah. I like to take advantage of the broken physics of this game every now and then. I wonder if I pull this one up. I think I do. And I want to pull... Whoa. Went a little bit too far ahead there. Took me a little bit back here. Once again, that's okay. Just brings me right back over here. Alright. Now we're back on our friend the tree. I like to assume his face is a happy face. More like probably a determined face. Very determined to push forward and help us to reach our destination. What is our destination? I'm actually not really sure. Uh-oh. Might have a small issue here. Oh, okay, we're good. Okay, so as I mentioned before, here's a section where it's actually faster to just jump into the water, because it pushes that tree forward and automatically sets the wind up so that I can just crash right into that thing right there. But it's okay. Kid's got a lot of stamina, a lot of spawn. As an old man, sometimes I wish I had that same spawn. Whoa. Okay. So our friend the angry guy is back. And alright, I'm gonna run into him because the camera messed up there. And it left the fox behind. But I want to stay ahead of the game. And I also watch out for fire here. Fire can also end my journey. Oh. Losing my grip on my left-hand controller. Some really odd things can actually happen here if you get way too far ahead. He'll just start throwing like fire relentlessly, basically, way ahead of where he needs to be throwing it. So I'm gonna keep running and hope for the best. But like here specifically, especially sometimes, it can be very detrimental, because he'll end up destroying that first platform before you even get over there. Alright, so we have our second, like, boss fight here. Gotta move right here. Probably okay. We need to take out these 3 branches. It's actually very easy to do once you learn to manipulate the fire here. I want to stay sort of high up, but in a way that causes his flame to go around me compared to where he is. Alright. First try, no warm-up. And our sad, angry man plummets into the ice. And his journey ends here. Ours will continue, though. We are on a mission. A mission that I am unaware of what the actual point is. I guess, I don't actually remember what the story of this is, really, anymore. We're just gonna make up stuff. Ooh. This is, probably my second least favorite stage. Because it's constant back and forth wind, and you're really just walking forward. So it's more just kind of awkward than it is, challenging. And the wind is set up in a way that if you're just moving naturally, a lot of times it kind of trolls you. So like right here, I would have fallen into that pit. And I can't jump immediately because there's a second that it spends pushing you back. Which is basically what happened there. I even, like, right before I started to jump, I was like, wait a second. I gotta be careful here. This stage is very tedious. Somewhat unnecessarily. If you don't brace yourself on the wind, you'll get pushed back a bit. There we go. So now we find the cause of our struggle. This giant. And we're entering into a Shadow of the Colossus style thing. No, okay. That was very close. What? The fox has betrayed me. Alright. You can actually get through some of this with use of the wind. Or not this section, actually. It's the next section I'm thinking of. This one I have to do. You need to be careful here, because there are spikes all over the place. As soon as I jumped, I was like, is it okay? Not okay. Maybe I could actually, there's like a glitch you can do here. I'm not gonna try it. We are gonna try it. Nope. There's a glitch you can actually do here that'll throw you over to the other side. So you don't have to go to the left at all initially here. There's also another glitch you can do that will take you all the way across. What? I'm just going to take this safe. We're going to be patient here. Sometimes life requires patience. Which, as a speedrunner, is not always something we have. Here's where the camera can definitely screw me over. Oops, that was actually me screwing myself over. But I gotta definitely be very careful about the where the fox is positioned here. Alright, so I want this thing crush me or not. So I was gonna let this thing crush me. I'm gonna say because it's a little bit easier if I do so. Need this thing to bounce me upward. And I don't want to get crushed. Every now and then here, the game will lose sight of the fox, or just reposition the fox several billion feet off in some other direction. And I need the fox at the very top of this thing. Whoa, that can also happen. Now the camera's really messed up here. And I don't know where the fox is. Okay. Sometimes the game has a little bit difficult time keep track of everything going on. There we go. Should be in the clear now. Alright. Now I just need to wait for the wind. This is sort of a really awkward angle to try and hit. Oh gosh. Make this as awkward as possible by taking as long as possible. Alright, we got this done. There we go. There we go. Just gotta be a little patient. Alright. So we're coming up upon the final section of this game. The chase. So I'm being chased by that giant now. And on the right side of the screen, it'll get kind of filled with ice and snow as we go along. So I gotta try and stay ahead as best I can. Oops, I may have messed this up. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh no. Was a little slow there. Not a big deal. It's probably one of the more, not really intense parts of the game. More challenging to do. But you gotta do it fast. Whoa! Woo! You can actually play this game with one player, and sections like this, even though they might look a little challenging because you're constantly switching track back and forth between the two characters, they're really not that bad. Really need to move this thing up higher. I'm gonna be high enough. There we go. Should be good now. Might be a little too high, actually. Okay, so I gotta watch the wind. Make sure I get a little boost of speed here in a minute. As you can see, the right side of the screen is filling up with snow a little bit more. Ooh, I think I missed my chance. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to do, we're basically going backwards through the game. All the different areas we'll be going through, but we're being chased throughout all of them. I might get grabbed. Okay. Forgot I needed to actually go around for this. Gotta wait for the wind as well. But as we pass through all these different sections, we're gonna get chased a bit. Whoa! It's never happened before. Yeah. So I don't want to get grabbed by anything. And I also need to go fast. Whoa, because I'm being pushed off the edge. I'm also being chased at the same time. Ooh, I thought it was okay. Alright, 15 deaths later. I will say I have managed to do pretty well, all things considered. Oh, so far. Okay, I thought there was wind. Sometimes you feel like there's wind and there's not. We get up and we try again. Alright, no worries, we made it through it. All of us together. So this section likes to make a lot of use of the wind, as well as the little crusher things, where the rocks like go up and down, that we saw earlier in the game. So we'll be having to watch a lot of different things on screen here. Gotta make sure I don't get too far behind though. So I don't want the giant to catch up to me. This is probably a mistake. Nope, we're okay. I'm gonna wait for the wind. Gonna wait for the wind again. And we've done it. Congratulations, team. We made it to the end. Not too many troubles. We pushed forward. We got through it. And together, as Fox and Girl, we have reached our way home again. I'd like to once again thank everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed Never Alone. It's a great game. I think everyone should definitely check it out. It's got a lot of like really cool features and like some behind the scenes stuff that you unlock as you play through. And as I mentioned several times before, it's not too difficult. It's made in a way that's really kind of designed to teach people that may not be used to playing games how to like play a game. So if perhaps your parents or grandparents or little brother or sister or your significant other doesn't really play too many games, this might be a good game for the two of you to play through together. However, I have no friends or family, and as such, I learned to play this by myself with 2 controllers. And I hope you all enjoyed seeing my ability to handle 2 controllers at once. It was quite the journey to get to this point. I didn't have too many falls, I would say, too many mistakes, but we made it through together. And this is the end. I hope everyone enjoyed Never Alone. And until next time, see you guys later. 'Cause we're all in this together. I don't know any of the words to this song. We're all in this together. Everyone. I have no friends I don't know where my controller's been.